All right. Uh, Hello, people. Welcome to Act 4 of the Unauthorized Acts of Tomfoolery. I am your host, Vaughn.
I am your co-host, Andrews.
And I am not your co-host. I'm Purple Comet.
All right.
And
Yeah.
to start us off for today,
All right. Here we go.
we've got VR.
Yes. Our first topic is VR.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that I am the only one in this current call that does not have a VR headset.
Yeah, he doesn't know what
Indeed.
VR stands for. By the way, it stands for virtual reality con.
Yes.
Yeah.
The people at
Don't worry,
home, they are quite enlightened now.
Okay.
I'm so smart. I can pronounce things.
So,
Yes.
Purple Comet, you've got an Oculus Rift.
Yep,
If
the
I
Rift
am-
S.
Rift
The Rift
S.
S.
And how's that worked out for you? I guess. Well, we'll share our
Well, I like it.
experiences.
I can't exactly compare it to a lot of. Well, no, that's a lie. So my brother, he has the Valve Index. He has the top-notch, rated #1 quality headset you can buy for
$1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
That's not a reasonable amount. That's expensive.
No, that is a reasonable amount. Unreasonable would be like you have to be a millionaire to own this setup.
Well, that's like if you're gonna get a haptic suit.
Exactly, you got the whole setup. So I've gone back forth between the Valve Index and the Rift S, and I would definitely say the Rift S has a pretty good display compared to the Valve Index. The Valve Index is pretty much better in every single aspect, but the Rift S, it's not really worse than the Valve Index, in my opinion. I've everything seems to be high quality for half the price. Well, less than half the price. I got it for like what, $400?
That is a good
Wow.
price. That's not that higher. That's not that much higher than No, that's the same price as the original Quest.
Yeah. I have the Quest 2 and that was only 300.
I know.
But I guess by the time I bought everything, shipping, and then also I bought a couple of games, that ended up being a little over 400, I'd say. Luckily I'm a working man. I can afford these things.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I worked more often, I would by now probably have enough money to get one. Unfortunately, where I work, working frequently is kind of a tough thing.
That makes sense.
My
I
boss
can see
isn't.
that.
My boss is not really lazy at getting me to work. She's I'd say my boss is awesome, but my position in the job is that she had me fill in the the owner's grandson. Like, he went off to college, so I basically filled in what his position was. So it's no different. Pay is not that bad. I get at least $12 an hour.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty
I
good.
actually got 13, I think. So
You
not
work at
far off.
oh man, I asked this
I
before
work at a
so many
plant
times.
nursery.
Yeah, plant nurse. I was about to say a florist. I thought that was what it was called, like a florist.
Pretty much. I mean, we got flowers, so
Yeah.
yeah, we got flowers, trees, and the people at home can learn more about our jobs.
Actually, regarding
over
that, one
Excellent.
time my family went down to this, I think it was a plant nursery, because we were looking for a tree to put in our front yard, because originally in our front yard we had 2 birch trees, and unfortunately, since they were a massive fire hazard for 4th of July, we had to cut them down, which was kind of sad because they were really nice birch trees. We got this new one. I don't know what kind of tree it is. It's
So wait, you took out the trees and then you're putting in a new tree, but
we're
wouldn't that
we're
just have the
no
same
no no,
problem?
we're putting in a smaller one. It's small. It's a young tree. But we
Wow.
went to this plant nursery, and it's kind of how you described it. It was really nice. Like the whole place had a really cool atmosphere, and it kind of gave me and my brother a cool vibe. So we enjoyed being there. I was kind of thinking, I wonder if that was the same one. I can't get like too specific because that might reveal my location, and we don't want that. Um,
America.
how dare you? Oh, I'm gonna have the Russian spies chasing after me. No offense. Um, I mean, where I work, it's a winery. It's a small family business. Um, and yeah, man, the place is tiny. My coworkers are all like 40-year-old like women. I'm the only dude who's like below 20. So it's a little bit weird. Oh yeah, we were talking about VR, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Anyway, so my plan is to get the Quest 2, which seems to be the cheapest, like budget friendly, but it also seems to have some factors that seem to outplay other headsets. Like, if I remember right, it has a special kind of processor that seemed to be top of the line. It's said to have a display that is better than the Valve Index, which keep in mind that headset is worth $1,000 and this one is worth $300. Not only that, it's light. It's lighter than the original Quest, which I have experience playing with. It's untethered, completely untethered, no wires at all.
Wow.
Other thing, like, okay, downsides. Of course, there's going to be downsides to something that's like as good as that. One thing is its battery life. It's like 2 hours, which is, reasonable because who besides the YouTuber Disrupt would spend like 24 hours in VR in one go. COVID.
No one.
Stay
Anyway,
safe, folks.
yeah, please. So another thing that I've kind of noticed is that people kind of complained about the strap. The strap on the Quest 2 is a little bit chafing. Is that true at all? Like, do you see any downsides with the headset at all, Andrews?
Um, Honestly, I feel like the only downside I ever experienced with the Quest 2 was and now this is barely a problem,
Like, it's
but I
it's
feel
probably a
like the
personal opinion.
strap, yeah, it's more of a personal opinion, but I feel like the strap should sort of fit around the head better. I try to tighten it and it kind of like goes up instead. That could actually be that could be user error, and I just maybe haven't figured out how to tighten the sides of it instead of the top.
Hmm.
But
Maybe what you could do is that you could tighten the
I
sides
guess I
and
kind
loosen
of,
the top. That could be a thing.
oh, maybe
Like,
the
yeah,
sides do sort of flip up and down, so I have found like a way that I can sort of keep the headset on my face, but have it decently tight so that it works.
and the
On
other
the
thing. Oh,
on the Rift S, the strap is actually mechanical. You put it on,
Oh,
and then it sort of clicks like a bike helmet. How it uh, locks in
huh.
forward.
yeah, I've noticed that like on the Elite strap for the Quest 2, it has a dial at the back that you twist around and it makes like a click.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, as people kind of have seen, is that if you abuse the Elite strap, it's brittle, which sucks for something that's
Hmm.
$50. So I think the one thing I'm gonna say is if I'm gonna get the Quest 2, I'm probably just gonna stick with the regular strap for now until it's like, yeah, the original strap's a little bit chafy. I'm gonna probably try to see if I can get a replacement, which I bet you there's probably other replacements besides the Elite strap. Even though that the Elite
Oh.
strap is supposedly really good, and when I saw this review saying like, is it really that brittle? It's really not. Like like I think when you take it out and you feel it, it could feel like it could break. Like it feels like it may be made of cheap plastic. But yet again, Flex Seal exists, so that's one way to toughen it up.
That makes sense. I am wondering for the both of you, what VR games have you played or are you hoping to play? And like,
Ooh,
I guess just which ones have you enjoyed?
okay, good question. So I have a friend. He may be a visitor on this, so I'm not going to call him by his real name.
Let's see.
His Discord name is Titanium Rocket or Titanium Labs, I think.
Ah,
Um, he switches between that.
this lad.
He I've he and I are really good buds. We go to each other's houses often enough, and any chance that I get, he lets me go on his VR headset because he knows I don't have one, and he just lets me go on it. And to me, going in VR is a amazing experience. Like,
King actions.
like I'm gonna just say something real serious. Ready Player One is my top favorite movie of all time.
We're getting very close to that point.
And we
I've
and
heard
what
that Valve is working on brain stuff, so who
like
knows?
the cool thing about Ready Player One is that it's not that far and it's not that fictional either. Like it could be real. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we could all be living in motorhomes stacked on top of each other.
yeah, we are not living in
Actually,
stacks.
now that I'm thinking about it, we could possibly call upon the wonderful and mystical powers of Future Vaughn.
Yeah.
Future Vaughn, bestow us with knowledge on if Valve is working on just brain related VR because I've heard that somewhere, but maybe it was a joke.
Yeah, and is Elon Musk actually working on Catgirls?
Oh yeah,
And,
that's
you know,
also a
yeah, he can answer that
good
too.
question.
All right. Yeah. So apparently, Gaben has been thinking of brain-related computer technology, which, in my opinion, that's terrifying. But that's Gaben, so we never know. Another thing, I don't know about the Catgirls part.
Thank you to Future Vaughn for answering that wonderful question.
Yes.
Well, wonderful set of questions.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, the games that I have played on the headset are Beat Saber, very fun. Super Hot, I absolutely love that game. Super Hot is awesome.
Super hot.
Um, Other games would be like Job Simulator.
I love Job Simulator.
Job Simulator is
I
very
actually,
fun.
right after I got another game, which I will talk about in a second, I got Job Simulator, and I think like the night that I downloaded it, I beat like two of the things because I was that immersed. You know, it was fun.
I
I did
think.
the gourmet chef one.
Oh, that one's fun. That one's really
Yeah,
fun. I always like to
exactly
do
like being a chef.
the department store, and then
Oh
I
yeah,
think what was it called again? Like the
auto mechanic.
auto
Is that
mechanic.
one fun? I actually
That
haven't played that
that
one.
one, yeah, that one's fun. That one's very fun. I think that might be the best one.
I've
Well, I
heard a
got
lot of
something to
talk
do
about
tonight.
Boneworks, but I haven't personally played it. I've
Which
heard
one?
its physics are very Boneworks.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about it. Sebastian has Boneworks. He hasn't. I haven't played it yet, but he says that its physics are really, really fun. Like the
Ooh,
whole the
yeah.
whole game is pretty much just a real world VR physics simulator.
Yeah, Boneworks is basically what one of my friends called the poor man's Half-Life Alex that really isn't that bad. Um,
Oh,
I'd say it's for a different audience because I cannot handle that type of movement for the life of me.
oh, is it
But let me
nauseous?
say, it was really fun when I played Boneworks. I liked that. I played it over at my friend's house, who actually said the thing about Boneworks. But
Yeah,
Half-Life Alex, let me tell you,
I am.
that game.
Yours too.
I'm definitely going to say. Okay, so games I've played, like Beat Saber, Super Hot, Job Simulator, Tetris. I think I probably played one more. I can't get my finger on which one it is. The one game I really want to play, but I don't know if I would fully understand it. So my brother's probably gonna have me get the Half-Life bundle. I really want to try Half-Life Alex because that game looks like the most immersive game ever.
It's literally and I mean this with no like hyperbole or no extension of my words. It is probably one of the best games I've ever played.
It seemed
No
to have
spoilers. No spoilers.
it seemed to have had
Yeah.
so much success. Like even just watching the trailer, it's like it looks like you're actually
insane.
in. Like you could even see like even like like the guy in the trailer showed emotion, I guess, like where he saw something at the corner of his eye and then he snapped over and then started shooting at it. Like as if he
Oh
kind of
yeah,
as if he kind of
It
got
is
like
very
jump scared.
immersive. It
the
is very immersive.
combine in that, they are so well animated.
Mm-hmm.
They look like humans. They are literally like it's insane. They move like people. There is a now I'm not gonna spoil like
they're
the
not
actual scene.
They're not
Mhm.
human, are they? Combine?
Some combine are human. I believe Future Vaughn maybe answer that. I'm not sure. You don't have to, Future Vaughn. Don't worry.
He could probably do like a really quick blip, like right now. Combine soldiers from Half-Life are actually just biomechanically engineered humans. So just enhanced soldiers.
Yeah. Thank you,
What?
Future Vaughn.
I
But
could just
yeah,
answer the question.
far as I know, I'm pretty sure the Combine in like the Half-Life lore, I think
They're-
some of them
they're
are
humans
human,
working
and then they just go through like a process of being augmented until they kind of
There's a
become
few different
something.
things. Humans do work for the Combine. The Combine also makes use of reanimated corpses.
Right, head crabs. They kind of weaponize those in Half-Life 2.
Those two. That's different though.
Yeah, keep in mind I have not played any of the Half-Life games, unfortunately.
Ooh.
But my brother, who's recently gotten the bundle from a sale, he really likes Half-Life. Like he fully,
Dude, I love Half-Life.
like, and
it's
he
a wonderful series.
and he can definitely say the cliffhanger at the end was just as he expected it to be. Like it was perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he finish all of Half-Life 2?
He finished all of them.
Honestly, leave it to Half-Life 2 for
Wait, he even finished
for
the
like
original
ending
Half-Life?
on
He finished
cliffhangers.
all of them.
That took me a really long time to finish the first Half-Life.
Well, my brother's not you.
I know. But also he wasn't gaming on a laptop.
He is gaming on a laptop.
I have a laptop, but somehow it runs VR pretty well. So
Half-Life
Yeah.
has always been like the landmark of the gaming industry.
Mhm.
Like Half-Life really helped to introduce a lot of the story making elements in games we see today.
Yeah.
Like I believe a lot of the content you'd see in games such as Halo wouldn't exist without Half-Life.
that is
The same sort of storytelling you see in like the Portal games.
Yeah, that's the thing. Although I haven't played any of the Half-Life games, I have played the Portal games. I finished the first one. I have not finished the second one, but I do know how it ends.
The Portal games are, I think, in the same universe as
They
the
are.
Half-Life games.
They are.
They are.
Yep.
Yeah. Portal 2 takes place super long after, though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
like after the Combine are offered.
9,000 years after or something.
I think it takes place between Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2.
Yeah, because isn't there an
after.
Easter egg where you see the ship called like?
Yes.
That too. And also they mentioned Black Mesa in the ending credits song of the first Portal.
They mentioned Black
Black
Mesa in
Mesa?
both, actually, I'm pretty sure.
They mentioned Black Mesa quite a bit, especially Cave Johnson. He mentioned that quite a bit.
Rivaling companies, leave it to them to like really connect their two worlds like that.
Yeah, very well done.
Two science companies, Cave Johnson going absolutely insane off of moon dust.
You know what's another VR game I would really be interested in? Pavlov.
Mhm.
That game has appealed to me.
Something about Pavlov. I actually have Pavlov. I just haven't had the opportunity to play it yet.
It's just CS:GO in VR.
Basically, yeah.
I've been
I'd rather
looking.
try the Pavlov demo on his Valve Index. I'd say the only complaint I have is that it's a little hard to hold the gun without it slightly changing, moving whatsoever.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's that. Okay, imagine aiming down a real game. Remember when we did Airsoft? That hollow sight was really hard to look through.
No, I mean, like, you would hold your hands completely steady, but it was still the game would have all these micro changes that are trying to calculate, and so you could hold the gun perfectly still, and it'll still make all these slight changes.
I do like in that game the accuracy of like reloading a gun is very well done. Where it's just like if you were to reload, like let's say an M4, you'd have to drop the mag, input a new one, and then cock it back. So, yeah, very well done for Pavlov.
Yeah, Vaughn, I think you'll really like Half-Life Alyx if you get it. Honestly, you seem like the kind of guy to really like the gunplay in that.
Anything like warfare related in any games, give it to me, please.
It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I got hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. The guns in that aren't my favorite, but honestly, they're not bad. It was fine. It's mostly like a shooting range type of game, so there's not exactly like there's less urgency. It's more just firing guns for the fun
other
of it.
VR games
but,
that other VR games that I've noticed, but I really kind of don't want to play, are stuff like FNAF VR. Anything horror terrifies me.
Imagine Silent Hill PT in VR.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
I would.
I've played PT, and I don't want to play that in VR.
I'm going to say this one thing. I think if I just blink in that game and something appears in front of me, I piss my pants like no one else.
Yeah. Dude, I am a coward when it comes to VR games. There is a specific chapter in Half-Life Alyx. Let me tell you. I know I keep mentioning it. I know it's probably annoying at this point to the people at home. But let me just say, there is one chapter that is like, it just turns Half-Life into a complete horror game. And it's insane. And it's one of my favorite chapters.
Oh, man.
With a bunch of head crabs, and you got...
No, okay.
You're absolutely worried for your life.
If there's anything,
it's got the head crab.
If there's anything you need to know about me and horror, my family only likes to watch horror so they can see me completely scream like a girl. I cannot take watching a horror movie at all. Like
I've actually
Shining. The Shining creeped me out. Like it just creeped me out. It didn't scare me. It just creeped me out. I think there was this one horror movie that I really enjoyed. It was Dark Was the Night. That one like featured Kevin Durand. It was a very, very, I'm going to say this with a lot of passion, very underrated movie. But I'd say it was pretty good. Another thing was Evil Dead. I mean, come on. Evil Dead isn't really that much of horror, but more comedy. I mean, it's plain obvious. I love Evil Dead. Ash Williams is a great musical character. Oh boy, I hope not.
What's that?
I don't know.
Future Vaughn?
What?
Please.
Wait, say the questions.
What you all asked.
Future Vaughn, we've got like 3 questions for you at this point, but please help us out.
I don't even know what the question is.
Yeah, say the questions.
Is there an Evil Dead musical?
Yes. Bruce Campbell nailed it as Ash Williams. Like, even despite them being on like the lowest budget in movie history, they pulled it off. Like they got out of that slump pretty fast.
I believe every single movie was made under a different studio. Like they couldn't get the rights from the first movie to make a second movie,
and
so they had to make little cuts to indirectly relate the movies together.
And also, here's the other thing: the shed in the first movie, didn't they have to rent that?
I believe they did.
They do allow people to rent sheds in some places.
Yeah, in the middle of a mountain.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
I think something just clipped my mic there.
Maybe. It's on like an elbow.
Yeah.
So...
I heard it.
Horror, I guess?
I suppose we've been just kind of talking about horror,
Yeah, alright.
And, yeah. So, final thoughts on horror, good or bad? What do you guys think?
I absolutely love horror.
Okay,
I like the idea of it.
For me, I'm really mixed between horror. I'm kind of on the negative side because it's just like it's not like I am like a complete pacifist and I don't like anything bloody or gory. No, I mean, when it comes to action stuff, I look for the blood. Like Deadpool, like I love Deadpool. That is a
Deadpool is
great
filled with that.
movie. And
There's
also
something about
like
1990s horror games that really just catches me off guard.
th-
Like,
Ooh.
I find it easier to get scared from an older game than a newer game because I guess the expectations are just different. It's easier to
Exactly.
immerse yourself in a game's art style when it's just so well made and in lower level. I don't know, just the achievements are easier to absorb if it's an older game.
Exactly, because there's a lot of like soul getting put into this game.
mhm.
They really like have to cut corners, and they cut them in such a specific way.
It's
Yeah.
easier to
Mario
work on the atmosphere
64,
when the game
for example.
itself is easier to make. Like a lot of these
Yeah.
hyper realistic games I've found are not all that easy to scare, are not all that good at scaring people. I think the only exception to that I've ever seen is PT.
So the one
I
thing
think PT, yeah.
um the one thing like why I tend to not like horror movies that much, like there's a good, okay, I'm just gonna say this up front, there are a good horror movies that I can tolerate. The one thing though, and I guess this just can go for me on all kinds of movies, I have really bad luck with having a favorite character. And recently that bad luck has passed to my dad because he watched the horror movie called Train to Busan, and his favorite character was killed off and he was devastated.
That always happens, you know?
So, yeah, my bad luck with all movies is that whenever I have a favorite character, always dies off.
Who was your favorite character in The Shining?
The black guy.
I
Dick.
knew it. I knew it. Oh, I so knew it. I so knew
He
it.
was the chillest guy. The chillest dude.
Mhm.
Is it possible to spoil The Shining?
No. Everyone has probably had to seen it at this point.
Yeah. I guess just, you know, with certain media, it's a lot easier to get scared. Personally, I feel like horror movies wouldn't really get me all too much.
Yeah, I mean,
More of horror games where I'm experiencing it, but I do actually like enjoy a game that's like, I guess, scary in essence, but you can kind of do something about it, you know? They give you a gun, that's fine.
yeah.
Something like that, you know? Just
For
that's fun to me.
yeah, and for me, along with all these like horror movies, I always see like actually with any movie, for some weird reason, towards a part, I always feel sympathetic for like the villain. I don't know why, it's just a thing. Like oh man, let me find a really good example.
Villains are easy to sympathize with usually. If they're well written, I'd say that's like maybe an essential part.
Yeah, you know what? I feel
of them.
sympathetic for all those cannibals in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, you know, they totally. Yeah, you know.
Okay,
I don't
well,
mean like that.
I
mean,
yeah, you know I don't mean it like that, but
Yeah, I know.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of like a really good example because there was like this one villain that I was like, shoot, like kind of in my brain, like some part of me was like, dang it, and like not like why did he die, but just kind of like the whole like
it's like dang,
it's like wow, I kind of felt bad for him in a way. I don't remember which one, but it's one of them. I just don't remember.
Maybe we kind of tell him that The Incredibles wasn't a horror movie.
The Incredibles wasn't a horror movie. What? What do you mean? Like finding Gazer Beam's corpse in that cave wasn't a jump scare? Like hello? For some weird reason, that scene when I first saw it gave me a heart attack. I think,
yeah.
Like not okay for me. If okay, jump scares with me go in a really weird way. Like I get jump scared very easily, but it's not really because of the visuals. It's the sound. It's just that sudden loud noise and then the scary visuals that gets me. Like if it was just the video, I'd probably jump. Like I'd probably be like, "Whoa." But if it was like just the audio, I'd freak out. Like I'd be like, "Dang, that was loud."
You should play Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. All right. Confession time. My brother and my dad have been trying to force me to play Resident Evil 7. I didn't even get 5 minutes into the game, and I was ready to just crap myself. I was like, oh no, this is so terrifying. I can't do it.
Man, video games, man, they make you feel things. That's
like,
what's wonderful about
just
them.
not even 5 minutes in, and I was terrified. Like, I was just thinking, oh, like anything's gonna pop out of that corner, and like something's gonna turn around, like the Mr. X or the Tyrant is gonna appear just out of nowhere, and just oh man, I was ready to just go like, huh! And just completely squeal.
I've been playing a lot of horror games as of late. One specifically, I've been playing the Resident Evil remake for the GameCube. Now, they completely remake the game for the GameCube. Like, it's a completely different experience. The rules are all different, but it's all done for the better. It's the same game, but it still feels completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You never feel safe the moment you leave the hall of the mansion. If you go anywhere else, you just never feel safe because you know, even though you've cleared this room, you know you still have that 1% chance of something happening the moment you screw up or do something else around the mansion.
Wait, let me add one more thing. Do you know what's the one thing from a video game that actually used to freak me out?
What's that?
Okay, I'm going to say this in very specifically. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Nintendo 3DS, it was that hand. The hands that float above and then just come, like, try to, like, grab
spiders.
you.
Oh, those.
And then they drag you to the beginning of the...
Every time I see the shadow appear above me, I cringe so much, I throw the 3DS. Like, I'm like, that is so terrifying. Like, just seeing the shadow of the hand just appear over Link just scares me so much.
Ocarina of Time and like Majora's Mask are so eerie. I could not play those games at night like the originals. I would not be able to.
They're
even if I'm just in like the
fantastic games, but they're
wonderful
so eerie.
Majora's Mask. That's a story to tell right there.
I can't remember if it's in the Majora's Mask or
I
if
completed
it's in
all of
Ocarina
Majora's
of Time.
Mask. I actually bugged Vaughn here about it. Over the summer, I refused to play any other game except Majora's Mask until I finished it.
It took him a month. Do you know how bored I was? Do you know how, like, I was just like dying to play Rainbow Six Siege that whole time, and he was just like, nope, gotta finish Majora's Mask. In my mind, I'm like, can I just like send an EMP to his house and just turn off every single electronic in his house?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's also the computer that you wanted me to use.
Yeah, but it's just like...
Just specialize it. Specialized EMP.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it only works on my Nintendo Wii. We'll see how about that.
Yeah.
Oh no, my EMP controller has been disabled. What am I ever going to do? Oh, I know. I can take my save file, and I can transfer it over to my computer and emulate the game.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that you can do that too.
Don't worry, my controllers don't need to have the letters A, B, Y, X in order for me to recognize what to do.
Do you guys know about like the well? I don't know if it's an Ocarina of Time. I think it's in Majora's Mask.
Say it.
It's like the well, and if you go down it, there are a bunch of those like white arms that grab you.
Oh boy.
And there's the dude that comes out.
That might be Ocarina.
They're like sticking out of the ground or something.
I think it's Ocarina of Time.
I think that's Ocarina of Time because I think I've ran into them, and that still scared me.
Yeah.
Maybe
some vibe.
Are we gonna? We are not calling Future Vaughn for the third time. I don't know if you can answer another question.
Have a much more believable vibe than these modern games that we see today. Like, it's much more believable. It's much more easy to get involved in the atmosphere than I have seen in a lot of other games today.
Yeah.
Gotta be quite the landmark in order.
I guess that's just kind of like the. I lost the words. What was
apparently it gives you the lens of truth.
Oh. So yeah. Yeah,
it's called the Dead Hand. I guess there's two of them.
Oh wait, which one? Like the hand that appears above you, or the one that grabs you from the ground?
No, it's like a bunch of white arms, right?
Okay.
It's white arms sticking out of the ground. They stand straight up, and then once one of them grabs you, like this white, like I guess it's a little bit bloodied, like creature, like tries to bite you. It's got a big jaw.
Hmm.
I don't know. I guess there's two of them.
What's our third topic again?
Our third topic is art versus function. If you guys want to get right into that, I can't really think of a good segue, but
I kind of forgot how that went. Like art versus
art
The
function.
idea
versus
was,
function. Like, can things look good and
I believe
without
the idea was,
sacrificing function?
it was to talk about jobs, like the difference between being an artist versus being like a functioning member of society. Like,
That's an insult.
I mean, that is a direct insult.
it's
Yeah.
the true. It's That's a little harsh. It is a harsh way of putting it, but I mean, like, is what you're doing benefiting society, despite, like, okay, art, it affects people emotionally, and it pays the bills, but does that really progress society forward?
I mean, okay. I'm gonna
I
do a.
think in especially
I'm
a
gonna do a
time like
slight hint
this,
reveal
definitely.
on my what?
I think in a time like this, definitely. I mean, artists are the ones making your whatever shows you may be watching in quarantine, you know?
Yeah. I mean, for me, okay, slight hint reveal about my job as a musician. My first ever thought of like being a musician, my immediate thought was glory. Like that, I think that was probably all that I've ever really wanted, which is
That makes sense.
very selfish if you really think about it. Like all I thought was glory, like getting recognized, kind of having a I guess purpose or something. And then all of a sudden I started listening to some bands, and then I was like, maybe it's just not to be idolized, but just to be listened to. And then that's when I kind of came up with the idea for my music is just maybe it's to tell a story. Like my music should be kind of about who I am and how I function, there you go, throughout my life, and kind of how this can relate to other people, and how people can say like, hey, I can relate to this, I like this, I'm going to keep listening. That is kind of how you take art and function at the same time, despite it being a very big clash where it's just kind of like, would you rather go for the art form or for the direct function?
Hmm.
Like, yeah,
I can see that.
for music it's a definite like, oh, it's an immediate art form. It's like, but yeah, how would you present it? Like if you were to present it in a way that's just like a simple love song, I mean that's really just kind of art. But if you were to be like, I'm just gonna give a uh I mean like let's say Bohemian Rhapsody. Bohemian Rhapsody is like a storyteller. Like despite that not really being related to any of the band members at all, maybe it is, I don't really remember. It tells a story
Mamma mia, figa.
despite the song being a little bit lyrically confusing.
That makes sense.
Other songs, I'm going to be a little bit biased. 21 Pilots, my favorite band of all time. Their songs tell more than just like a story. They allow like their main line is like, we don't want to be idolized, we just want to be listened to. And by listen to, they don't mean like listened to music, like they have something they want to say, and the only way that they can really say it is through music. And for me, I found that to be my main drive to do music. Like is like, oh, I should tell a story. Like if I wanted to do music stuff, I should present this in a way where people can say, hey, like that's relatable, it's a story that we can understand. It's like, it's kind of the whole talk of like, that guy's talking in my language kind of thing. I sounded kind of like a philosophical person there for a second.
Well, it's insightful. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean
What I
that's
thought
my
of,
whole drive. Yeah.
what I was thinking of when I was thinking of art versus function. When it comes to art, I mean, if someone ever wanted to look at art, it seems like there's just an infinite amount of art. Like you can never really run out of art.
despite there being derivatives.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes feels all about being relevant when it comes to being an artist. Sometimes it's just the accomplishment of feeling like you're relevant. Your art means something to someone today. I mean, you hear stories about artists only being famous until they're dead. I mean, you got Van Gogh, such as an example. I mean, some filler. I mean, you can never really run out of art. If you wanted to look at some platform of art, I mean, you'll probably find plenty of it. And when it comes to being an artist in society versus being a function of society, like a garbage man, I mean, you never really have to worry about not having to have a garbage man. But sometimes if you look at it from an artist perspective, I mean, sometimes it feels like the people don't necessarily need you, and that's a bit of a harsh reality. It's harder to be an artist, but I guess it's also a more open and more free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing of kind of.
Although I do think that definitely a lot of like functional jobs, even if it feels like there's no use for them, like maybe the person who's working those jobs may feel like there's no use for them. I think there definitely is, just like there's definitely a reason that those jobs exist, of course.
Yeah, for sure. For me, when I kind of go through society, I am not what you call an introvert, and I am probably nowhere near being like a flat out extrovert. I am right in the middle, so I'm a ambivert. And the way I kind of view society is a little bit selfish, I'd say. I used to view the world as I was the protagonist of my own story. But then when I kind of started listening to music and then kind of reading other people's stories, then I kind of realized people are the protagonists of their own story as well. So then I just kind of went into this whole like mind palace. I'm taking a reference from Sherlock, where I just kind of like sit back and kind of think like, everybody has a story. Yeah. It's like, and yet they blend in so well. Maybe that came out wrong, but but it's just, yeah, I have like a weird way of thinking. So I know by all means I have no mental disorder. Maybe besides PTSD.
Maybe. That's probably my fault from how many times I'm just throwing stuff at you.
Not that, more stuff. More stuff. From being bombarded to play Overwatch, holy crap. That was a nightmare I had to witness.
This dude got PTSD from
Fortnite.
Well, it's not just that. There's way more to it, but whatever.
Of course.
Okay, well, actually, I should explain the Overwatch story. This was... I mean, now that I look back at it, I would say this is the whole thing where it's like, when I get older, I'm going to look back at this story and laugh. Yeah, fully, I would look back at the story and laugh. Okay, this was when I was in middle school. I was a very, I'd say, I don't want to say unstable, because then it just sounds like I'm mentally insane. I was a very kind of...
unsociable?
Yeah, I had a lot of social issues when I was in middle school. I just couldn't really talk to anybody. It started as a joke. This was when Overwatch was I think it came out earlier, but it started to become the popular game. It started to become the Fortnite of I guess this was like 2015 or 2014.
I think it was like 2016.
Okay, maybe that. So. I don't remember, but then my friends started saying like, "Hey, you should get Overwatch." But by that time, I was a huge TF2 player, and I did know all about like the TF2 versus Overwatch thing. That was when that was a thing.
Man, TF2 versus Overwatch was such a weird argument.
Oh,
I mean, they're two different games.
I know, so different, but it's just one has left a legacy, one's left kind of an annoyance, but.
You choose which one that is.
No offense to either of them. The other thing would be, okay, so my friends have gotten into Overwatch. I was like 1 out of 15 guys who wouldn't play Overwatch. But the problem was is that I was part of a Discord server where a lot of my friends were on. And that whole time, they sent the same message, which started as a joke, but then it kind of got too far and they kind of didn't realize I was slowly going insane. Because it just kept saying, Vaughn, play Overwatch. Obviously, I was not named Vaughn there. I was at a different name, but they just kept saying, you should play Overwatch. You should play Overwatch. You should play Overwatch. And it got so out of control. The next day I went to school, I went ballistic and screamed like in their faces saying, if you don't shut up about this, I will personally hunt you down. Like, despite them standing right in front of me, I was ready to kill. Like, I was like, this is gone.
He was ready to kill the Overwatch players.
No. Like, these were friends I knew in real life. All of them.
Yeah.
One of them, admittedly, was Titanium Labs. He was probably the mastermind behind the whole thing. He wouldn't shut up. And this is,
the leader of the whole operation.
Okay. If you're listening to this by any chance, please know I'm not like trying to ridicule you in any way possible. This is a memory jump. Same thing that you do when you torment me nowadays. Keep that in mind. But every day he would say, you should get Overwatch. And then all of a sudden all my friends started saying it. And it just, I snapped. Like, I completely just got to a point where I was like, that's it. No, I'm not associating myself with these dudes. I'm going to take a large break from gaming.
Done with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk to them for like, I would say, a good couple weeks after that. Because I was just like, not only did I just lose my mind, but I pretty much just, not only did I just kind of like got this out of control, but I actually snapped and I can't look at them in the face anymore because now they see me as like a really, really emotionally unstable kid where it's just, I got mad at something so like docile. I think that's how you would say that word, but
yeah.
Like it just got to a point, and I was just I was just like, okay, I lost it. Cool. I'm just gonna pace myself and space myself, where I'm just like I'm gonna just not talk to them, like not out of anger, just saying like I just need time to cool down. Whole thing. But yeah, I don't know. Have you guys ever gotten into that kind of point where just a joke kind of went too far or something?
I don't know.
A few times.
Just how things are, I guess.
Yep.
Sometimes.
I mean, at least my friends didn't pressure me about Fortnite at all. I mean, okay, there's a good reason why I don't play it. I mean, I think the game itself is fun. I have played it before. It's just interaction with other people. I'm not saying I'm a complete like anti-social person. I'm not. Like, you see me downtown, I would strike up a conversation like that. It's just, so I have my next door neighbor came over and he brought his laptop and he's like, hey, do you want to try Fortnite? And I'm like, okay. So I installed it. We had a game. I said, yeah, it's fun. It is fun. I would probably play this more often. That's when I did take the decision. I'm like, okay, I'm going to probably play another game. After he left, I went into a solo game. But I ran into the main problem of the game. It's community. Holy crap, they are ruthless. If you need to know anything up to this point about Fortnite, what it was back then, it was the most toxic thing. Like, I'd say Call of Duty is a ant compared to how big this like toxicity level was. It was so bad. I didn't even get like 30 seconds into the game and I got ridiculed by at least 20 people. And the majority of them were 12-year-olds. And I didn't leave the game out of anger. I just left the game out of like, nope. Like, I see that problem. I'm not going to deal with it. My throat's getting dry. I've been talking too much.
No worries. No worries.
What minutes? We've been recording for 50 minutes. My gosh. Long episode.
Long episode. And you know what? That's a good thing.
That is a good thing, because this was supposed to be recorded on Halloween.
It's more of a Thanksgiving episode, so you know what? Let's wrap this up with something that I just thought of right now.
Do it.
What are you guys thankful for this year?
Oh boy. I guess just my increasing knowledge of music and how it's just gonna probably further just shape into my career, I'd say. Thankful for how we're sticking through this whole thing, like with the quarantine. I would have gone crazy at this point. I probably have, but maybe why not? But yeah, that's what I'm thankful for. What about you?
What about you, Comet?
I'm trying to think. What are you thankful for while I'm thinking this thing?
Yeah, Antrus, what are you thankful for? Almost said your real name.
Well, I personally am thankful for all the people at home who have stuck with the channel, because
Yes. I think we all should be
that
thankful
is very
for that.
important. We're starting off slow, not many people listen to these just yet, but in due time, perhaps we'll be a little bit more known.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be cool.
Actually, I should take this time to make a brief announcement. It's not set in stone, but it's just an idea that we had. We recently found a company that does distribution for a very, very cheap price. And we are hoping to team up with them so that we can, in due time, get these episodes out there and hopefully do these not just more frequently, but kind of get a little bit of cash out of this. It'd be a nice kind of hobby.
Just stack a little bit of that dough.
Stack a little bit of the dough. Have it shared between the three of us. It goes through PayPal, which is nice. Transaction
Not
is
our
super
only
easy.
motives for starting this, of course, but
I mean, yeah. We are
just a
only
nice
on
thing
the
to have.
4th episode, so I mean, maybe if we reach Act 10, I guess we could start it. We could probably get DistroKid, but
we should maybe at a certain subscriber goal. We'll discuss that at some point. Maybe in the next episode we'll talk about it if we remember.
I could probably put that in topic discussion, but yeah.
Special thanks to future Vaughn for providing us with literally infinite knowledge every episode.
He is the all-knowing.
The all-knowing future Vaughn. Those mystical abilities of knowing things on Google.
I'm probably going to just input a sound effect of me with reverb saying I don't know.
All-knowing.
Expand.
That'll be quite nice.
I guess we should sign off.
So yeah.
All right.
I'll get right on the...
Oh, well. There goes Comet.
There goes Comet.
He's gone. All right. Well. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. This has been the Unauthorized Acts of Tomfoolery, Act number 4. I am your host, Vaughn.
I have been your host, co-host, sorry, Andrews. And that was Purple Comet, who just, ran out the door.
Decided to take an early leave. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you tolerated our podcast as usual. We hope that we will, in due time, get a little more active, because high school is not fun. But anyway, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see how it is.
All right.
See you guys.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one.